still. Oh, we are now live, guys. Welcome into Wade's Ventures YouTube channel. Today is an amazing day, guys. We have a really special guest. Oh, let me mute this bad boy. And I'm really excited, guys, to showcase a really cool eBay, Amazon, Etsy, a little bit of Macari, a little bit of the above, guys. So you've got a really good show ahead of us. And if you're new to this channel, guys, today's a little bit of a early start. Typically our shows are 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're decided to do a little bit earlier today. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. So I'm going to wait for a little few more people to come in. But while we do that, I'm going to turn over to our amazing guests so they can kind of explain who they are. And I'm sure you guys have already seen them before on Instagram and YouTube, but I'm going to hand it over to them now.
Hi, I'm Cindy. This is my husband, Matt. We are full-time resellers. This is our only source of income. We do it together 24/7 and manage to stay married and happy most of the time, at least. We've got 3 kids and 1 in college and 2 in high school.
And a dog.
And a dog.
And a house.
Yeah, and all just reselling. So I've been doing this for 17 years now. And Matt's been full-time with me now for 5. So
that is incredible. 17 years. So were you on right before they did PayPal then? They're doing check.
Yes, I was on before PayPal. Yes, when PayPal first came on, you got like $5 for everybody you got to sign up. It was great.
Wow, I had no idea. And so I've got a lot of questions for you guys because this it's a little unique. I've done now we're going on 88 interviews on this YouTube channel, and I think it's really cool to kind of pick your guys' brain because you have got you're a couple, right? But you were doing it for forever. It seems like 17 years is a very long time to be selling on eBay, and then you brought in your husband 5 years ago. Kind of tell me, like, was that always your guys' plan, or how did that work? How did bringing him in full-time work? Because the only reason I ask that is a lot of people on here are looking possibly like one spouse is doing it, but they're hesitant to have the other one do it. And so I'm really curious on that front.
Well, when you started, I said I'd never step foot in a thrift store.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, I'm never going to step foot in a thrift store.
That was
You're
probably
crazy.
your demise from the start, was saying never. Because that was like a personal challenge then, like to bring you in. No, it was definitely not the plan. Matt had the big corporate job, you know, with all the benefits and all of that. And as our kids got older, he didn't like his job, and the commute was awful, and you were never home. And
yeah, office politics, and I just never got to see our kids. So
finally, I said, quit. Come home and do this with me. And
yeah, she was taking naps every day, and
yeah, I was like, this is great. This is great.
You don't have to work. I mean, you just do this.
Yeah, he had a completely unrealistic idea of what I actually did, but he said I was crazy. And so he said, okay, this was like in March. He said, if by the end of the summer, if you can hit this number monthly, I'll quit my job. And I don't think you ever thought I'd do it.
Nope.
But I did it. And so then I said, okay, I hit the number. You said you'd quit if I hit the number. And he gave us notice.
That's incredible. How is it, like, isn't it pretty cool to be able to wake up like together and have like one singular goal, one business to work on, and be able to set your own hours and kind of do what you guys want to do on your own time? Still work, of course, but you guys can do it on your schedule. And it's got to be amazing to do that as a couple. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We love it. We love it.
So tell me a little bit about the family. Let's take 2 steps back. We'll ask a little bit, get to know you guys. Then we'll get into the good stuff, the nuggets, the reselling. But tell me a little bit about, so you have a dog, you have a house.
Yes.
You have 3 kids, which I'm on 2, so I possibly may be doing a 3rd one. We'll see. One girl. What do they think of you guys reselling? Do they go out and help you thrift? Do they help in any way in the business?
Sometimes when they need money.
When they need money. Yeah, none of them have any real interest in doing this. But I will say there are some amazing benefits to having your kids see you work. You know, when Matt would go to work every day, you know, as a kid, you don't know what dad does. He just goes to work and money just shows up. And so you're asking for things, you know, that money has no qualifier to it. But when your parents are home and you're seeing them work and you're seeing, you know, all of this happen, it changes their perspective. I think it gives them a better work ethic because
Absolutely. Yeah.
they know what it takes to pay the bills. So, yeah, but they don't have any desire to do it.
So
let them work full time for a while, and then we'll see where they go.
So guys, if you don't know, these two are pretty famous on Instagram. Pretty famous on Instagram, if I might say myself. And so I'm going to put their Instagram link in chat constantly. And the reason is Monday through Friday, and it was what, 8? I got it written down here because I always get you guys periodically. So 9, or is it 8 to 9 or 9 to 8?
9
to 10.
9 to 10, Monday through Friday in the morning.
Awesome, guy. And they have, and what do you talk about that live show real quick on Instagram while I get the link up real quick?
Oh, it's so much fun. So every morning, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Central Time, we go live. And it's kind of just the reseller water cooler. We all just kind of come together and we talk about, okay, what's going on? What are you seeing? What's happening? Who's doing well? Who's not?
It's like a think tank. It really is. I mean, today someone came in and said, what do I do when someone wants to buy something, but they don't want me to ship it for
3 weeks?
3 weeks.
And, you know, I went back to, I think probably what we've all been told, you know, you either hold the item and take the ding, or you cancel it and have them pay later, whatever. And Michelle, Babe on a Budget, was in the chat and she goes, no, can't have them buy it now and pay for it. So you're not waiting for your money, but change the handling time on that item to 3 weeks from now. So that then you don't get the ding on the item. eBay's not telling you every day you're late shipping. And we were all like,
brilliant.
Brilliant. Why did we never think of this?
So it's stuff like that goes on daily.
Every single day.
You know, people come in, it's very open, and people come in with questions, and generally we don't know, someone does know.
Yeah, if we don't know, yeah, there's somebody in the chat that'll pop up and say, oh, I know the workaround for that. I know a hack for that.
Yeah, they had to work around from the missing picture glitch. Someone had that and saved a bunch of people
a lot of time there.
Now, real quick, guys, everybody that's in chat, I'm really curious. I'm assuming a lot of you guys have already seen their live shows on Instagram in the mornings, but there's 2 things wrong right now. There's 2 things wrong. Typically, and I don't have anything close to me here, but typically, Cyndi, you have a coffee cup and you guys are swapped sides, right?
No, right side, but
right side?
Yeah,
oh man, okay.
We do normally have coffee, except for Saturday nights. We do our Saturday night lives, and sometimes those come with alcoholic beverages, depending on how many eBay glitches we've had that week. So,
yeah, and there's a few of them. Okay, so first of all, guys, it's a little different. Typically, I have you subscribe to their YouTube channel, but go to their Instagram. I'm gonna put it periodically through this. Now, tell me a little bit about, like, first of all, let me know kind of for those of you that have not seen you guys, what state are you in and kind of where you thrift around you guys, just to give the lay of the land, because a lot of people in different states go different areas. And so that's one of the questions I asked. I think it's interesting because, like, you know, Oregon may be completely different than Texas and Florida and stuff like that. So where are you guys thrifting? And also, do you guys go together? Kind of give us the lay of the land and how you guys source items for eBay and all the other platforms.
Well, we're in Illinois, just outside Chicago, so we've got just plentiful thrifting opportunities in the area. But as far as that concerned, I mean, we thrift everywhere. We go to thrift stores, auctions, garage sales, outlet malls, just about everywhere. So, and we generally go thrifting together, and I find better stuff than she does. So,
not true. Not even true. Not even once.
Typical. The guys are pretty good.
See?
No. Yes, there is a little bit of friendly competition that goes on there, but yeah, we source together.
And can you tell me kind of, like, I know you're on a lot of platforms. Can you tell me kind of, if you could, like, obviously eBay is probably the bigger one, but how many platforms you guys on, and do you cross post, and how do you handle your cross posting? Do you guys put it in the listing kind of just so you know, or do you have an Excel doc? Or I'm curious because everybody's like, some people want to go do other platforms, but they're worried about the cross posting aspect of it. So
we currently sell on Amazon, eBay, Etsy, Poshmark, Mercari. Those are the 5 sites we currently have items on today. We've sold on Tradesy. We sold a bunch of other places. Bonanza. Yeah. Oh, we do have items on Bonanza.
Oh, Bonanza.
So we've sold a lot of other places, but that's where we currently have items listed. So most of the time, if an item is cross-posted, our eBay inventory item holds the inventory location. So I'm old school. So back in the day, you didn't have custom SKUs. So if you wanted an inventory location, you put it in your title. So I still do that, probably just force of habit. But what it does is, so each one of our titles at the end has a bin number on it. That's where the item is located. And then it will be noted if it's cross-posted on Poshmark, if it's cross-posted here, there, or wherever. Then as soon as that item sells, if an item sells somewhere else, it forces me to go back to eBay to find the inventory location, forcing me then to delete that item off of eBay. And if it sells on eBay, the moment I see that inventory number, I know it's somewhere else, which then tells me I have to go and take it off of that site.
I think that's the first time I've heard of that, and I think that's amazing because for me, for example, I have my items cross-posted to Poshmark. If it sells on Poshmark, it's there where the item is in Poshmark, and of course it gets taken off Poshmark because it was sold there. But then sometimes I'll forget to go back on eBay, and your route, you have to go to eBay. Wow, that's incredible, guys. That's a great way to make sure that you're not, because eBay is more important. I mean,
yes,
it's always bad to cancel an item, but you want to cancel it on another platform other than eBay if need be. That's huge. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, we have these lowest on eBay, and obviously we do the most business on eBay, so that's where we want to go.
Yeah, the likelihood is it's going to sell there.
So what is fourth quarter looking for like you guys? I love asking this. Like, what are you guys doing to prepare for fourth quarter? Because we all know Q4, Q3, and the end of Q3 and Q1 are actually pretty good for reselling purposes. Like, what are you guys doing to boost sales during fourth quarter?
So fourth quarter, we go more into new with tags items, more gift items. We sell a lot of used clothing. Used clothing slows down during fourth quarter. And everybody, comes into used clothing, and then here's all the Amazon sellers saying Q4, Q4, Q4. And then Q4 comes and they're like, what happened? Q4 in used clothing is not
Q4.
Is not Q4. Q1 in used clothing is much better than Q4. So we try to, kind of change up our inventory a little bit, have more items that will sell in Q4 so that we don't hit a slump. Because otherwise, a lot of sellers will hit a slump like mid-November all the way through December. Their sales will just tank. And that then becomes that becomes really hard for a lot of sellers because you don't see it coming.
I would have to agree. Like, I think you need to now, one thing that I love doing during fourth quarter is picking up shoes. I think they do really well, new shoes. And so I'll pick up a lot of new shoes. And I do think one of the things that would help guys is if you pick up coats, even if it's used, those will do well. But I would have to agree, like, used clothing slows down. It's all about the new products most of the time, unless possibly you're doing like really vintage stuff, that people want to buy. But that's yeah. And I think like you have to set expectations of kind of like what kind of inventory you have, and that's this, you got to know what you're selling to see how well you're going to do in fourth quarter. Because so real quick, I want to ask you guys. So you guys both work together. Who does the photos? Who does the listing? Do you guys both do it? I'm curious to see kind of what your guys' defined roles are working as a couple.
Well, I take all the photos and then you list. And basically what that does is it kind of double down on our productivity. So while I'm photographing, you're listing. and we're never really waiting for each other. So
before he quit, we really sat down and said, okay, this is the list of tasks that will need to be done in the day. And where do you excel? Where do you want to be? Where do I want to be? That sort of thing. And Matt's much more creative, and we don't want me taking the pictures. He's much better at that. So that was a better fit for him. And I love to run the numbers. I love nothing more than to crack eBay's search algorithm and figure out what they're doing with keywords today. So it made more sense for me to do the listing.
Makes sense. I think that's really cool. Like, there's a lot of things that I'm terrible with, and it's either you find a way to get better at the stuff that you're terrible with, or you find people that can help you that don't mind doing that, right? And it's like editing my videos. I do a lot of YouTube videos. I am terrible at that, but then my wife Ashley is like a whiz. She's amazing. So, in fact, you guys don't know this. This is the first time you're hearing this, but I actually got you guys in the part 2 eBay Open that should be out next week. I know I said it'd be out this week, guys. I apologize, but I did get you guys in that. Yes.
Oh,
when you guys were speaking, I snuck in. I was lurking around the corner, and I got you guys and a bunch of other people when they were speaking. So you guys will be in that video. Yes. And it's kind of, while we're on that topic, tell me a little bit about eBay Open 2018. Like, would you recommend it for people next year? Like, you guys were really cool, and you got to be on stage and kind of talk a little bit about eBay. Like, give us a little bit about your experience eBay Open 2018.
I absolutely 100% would suggest people go. There's no other place that you can go where people get it. You know, like if you sell on eBay, if you're a reseller, I don't think that there's any other place where you can go and people are like, you sold that? That's awesome. You were at the Goodwill and you found that? Like, people get it.
It's the Mecca for resellers.
Yeah, it's Mecca. So
you got to go at least once. You know, everybody's expectations, I think, are different. And when we go, it's a lot for the networking and making contacts. Newer sellers, they have a lot of great workshops there that are really beneficial. But there's something for everybody. And, you know, you can go and you could talk to all the VPs at eBay. And it's amazing. I've got a problem with this. Okay, here's my business card, or let me get you in touch with the person that can help. And it's absolutely fabulous.
Yeah. And nobody parties like a reseller. That's just all there is to it. Uh-oh, we lost sound.
Oh, no, you're here. You're here. Okay. So, yeah, nobody parties like a reseller, guys. It's one of those things where, like, a lot of us aren't heavy drinkers. Then all of a sudden, like, you know, a week out of the year, we're on eBay Open and, you know, got 5 drinks in our hands. And I used to drink heavy, but now I don't. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Networking was really cool. Did you guys go to any of the workshops, by the way?
Just the one I spoke at. No, I knew that all the workshops would be available on video afterwards. So I knew I was going to be able to get that information once I got home. What I wouldn't be able to get once I got home were those connections. That's your once a year that you get to go and you get to talk to the guy who is writing the search algorithm. You get to talk to the person who made the decision about returns. You get
to talk to the government relations team about the sales tax.
Yeah, those are your opportunities to make those connections, and I can't make those at home. So we took that time instead and made more connections.
Are you guys definitely going next year?
Oh yeah.
Now, did you bring the kids? Did they get to go to Vegas or?
No.
No. Our kids are 15, 17, and 22. So no, probably not a good idea. And I don't think they would want to spend a week in Vegas with mom and dad either. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I did bring the little ones. They love to go because they don't get bored. They can kind of watch at the crazy cool stuff they have in Vegas. We went to the aquarium that they have there in Mandalay Bay. That was beautiful. And then we went to they saw all the water they have. I mean, if they're 2 and 3, and you're not going to really party it up and you're just going, it was fun. I'll bring them next year. But I can see like a 14 or 15 or 16-year-old being like, hey, we can't do anything besides hang out in a hotel. So it wouldn't be as cool unless maybe you go at the outside area and you guys can kind of do like little, they have tours and stuff like that outside of Vegas. But I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
Now, so tell me, like, I want to ask you, because you've been selling on eBay forever. And I want to pick your brain of like, and the whole reason this is to kind of get like different perspectives and nuggets and information, and just, you know, not only that, but kind of like people that may not join your amazing Instagram live, and you guys get a ton of people every single day on your live shows, which is really cool on Instagram, guys. And I think that I wanted to talk a little bit about that too. We'll talk about kind of how you started that show, because I think that's really cool. A lot of people are looking into starting social media, and you guys do extremely well. Like, you go in there, there's 70, 80, 90, 100 people watching your guys' show every day. So I think it's really, really cool that you do it on Instagram, because it gives people another outlet as opposed to using YouTube. But tell me a little bit about like the search algorithm. Like, what do you think is a great title? Like, what kind of tips can you give in regards to that?
So the search algorithm it's just a math equation. So at one point I actually found eBay's patent for the search algorithm. So it's just a math equation. But what you have to understand is that it resets all the time. So what was working a month ago may not work this month. And they do that so that no person, you know, no one company is going to be able to game the system. It's constantly evolving. It's constantly changing. It's a lot like Google's SEO. Google's constantly updating and that sort of thing. But yeah, you want to take your information from eBay. So if you are searching a product and you go in and you type in Disney plush, eBay wants to autofill the next word for you based off of what they know the buyer is going to type in next. That information right there is huge as a seller, because not only is it telling you exactly what to write in your title, but it's telling you the most popular size, brand, plush, you know, part number, whatever it is, whatever comes up at top, that's the most popular part number on eBay right now. So go to eBay and use the data that they give you for free that everyone seems to just overlook. It's right there, you know, and then you can use eBay's sourcing guidance, which I think is very, very underutilized. You can go right there, see the top combinations for anything, see the seasonality of a product. You know, the search algorithm's all about having an item that is in demand. Is it in demand right now? If your item's been on eBay too long, it's going to be at the end of search. It just is. It's not in demand. So what's the seasonality of your product? Maybe it's just not in demand right now. Maybe you need to take it off and let it sit for a couple of months and bring it back when it's going to be in demand. Those kinds of things. So,
by the way, I think that was really, really cool. I got a cool tip that helps me sometimes. And I can't remember who did it. It was an interview that we had a while back. And she said that she sells on Amazon, and there's a lot of competition on Amazon. And so she sells food items on Amazon, like candies, stuff like that. And the way that she can kind of get over the hump of the competition is what she'll do is she'll research bundles within that same item, items that go really well with that item. Now, it's hard to do sometimes the one-offs like thrifted clothing and stuff, but like plushes, stuff like that, you can go on Amazon, or if you sell food on eBay or anything like that, go on Amazon, kind of see like what people are purchasing as bundles, and then maybe take that in consideration for your eBay. Now, it works fantastic for her for Amazon. But it won't work necessarily for a lot of people, like, you know, that do one-offs, I guess, t-shirts and clothing and stuff like that. But if you're doing candies or hard goods or something like that, possibly bundle. Seasonality, I think, is a huge one. That's really cool. Tell me a little bit about like, so how, like, you kind of explained that you're on the other platforms. Are you guys like, tell me like, what's your process of like listing? So you take pictures with your phone, then or your camera, and then you upload it, and then how is your process to cross post on all the other platforms?
So I am cross-posting simultaneously wherever I'm cross-posting. So if I'm listing an item on eBay that's going to go on Poshmark, I type in the title on eBay and then I click to upload all the pictures. And then you get that little blue ring circle of death. I don't want to waste time just sitting there waiting for the circle of death. So I immediately have another screen on open to Poshmark and I load pictures there, copy my title, do my description, all of my Poshmark listing. And then I'm taking the description then from Poshmark, pasting it back into eBay and launching on eBay. So I'm doing them at the same time so that I never have downtime waiting for eBay's site to figure out that my pictures are okay.
Yeah, it's all about just being constantly busy and no downtime, being most productive, getting the most bang for your buck for your time.
What would you, are you guys like, have you guys calculated how many listings you're doing daily?
Yeah. Yeah. I can list, and so Matt takes the pictures. So I'm doing the measurements and the listing, and I can put up an item on eBay and Poshmark both in 3 minutes. So, uh-oh. Is that us?
We lost him.
Oh,
there it goes.
There, you're back.
I thought I lost you guys. I was like, no, no.
Oh, was that us or you? I don't know.
I don't
3
know.
minutes.
Probably was me. I happened last night, so I'm going to blame my internet. It's been interesting. I trade stocks in the morning. It's been kind of in and out, and then before you guys got on, I had to restart the computer. So, but okay, so you cut off, or at least to me, you cut off like right before. How many? It takes 3 minutes to do one listing on 2 platforms. So I think it's crazy. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Matt, like, what are you doing with the photos? Are you doing all your photos in square mode so they go to Poshmark pretty easy? Like, and then you guys doing white background?
Yeah, square and a white background, everything.
So then it doesn't matter where I want to put it. I've already got the picture for it.
Gosh, well-oiled machine here, guys. Well-oiled machine. We have the Thrifty Nickel. I don't know if you met her on in eBay Open, but she says their morning show is priceless.
Guys, oh, thank you.
Really quick, type 1. We have 65 of you guys watching. So those of you who have seen their morning shows on Instagram, type 1. If you haven't, type 2. And if you haven't, go to that link that I just put in there. Subscribe. So tomorrow, Saturday, you can catch their show, and/or Monday through Friday of next week. I don't know. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know anybody that's a reseller that does a live show Monday through Friday on Instagram. Look at all this love in chat. There's a lot of ones, guys. Wow, incredible. The flipping Mama is a 1, of course. I know you've seen their show. Key Lime Kisses.
Yes, Mama speaks very, very highly of you, Wade.
She is amazing. She is amazing. Today I'm all out of sorts because I got like 0 sleep, but normally I'm much more lively, more fun. But it's this YouTube has been fantastic to be able to like reach out. Like I literally reach out to you guys because you guys are so amazing. I've caught your guys' show multiple times, and I think it's really cool that you guys like create a place that people can go and socialize and ask questions. And Matt, like you said, like if you don't know the answer, somebody will. And I've learned so much from having people like you on here, and I've learned way more than I've received or that I've given. So it's been incredible. It's been a really cool ride, and we've only been doing this for 6 months, and we'll continue to do it, getting people like you on here and just kind of talking shop, because it's a really cool idea to get as many people kind of like you guys do in one area, and you guys just ask questions and Q&A and everything else goes with it. So.
Yeah.
So okay, so who does the cooking in the house? And I like to ask this question, especially since you guys are a couple. Who out of you two does the cooking how do you guys find time, and who does the cooking in the house, or do you make the kids do it?
I don't know that anybody who actually cooks around here. I can reheat food pretty well, but that's about the extent of it.
Yeah, neither one of us are much of a cook, so we kind of.
But I will say, we don't have like clear gender rules at all. So whatever needs to be done today, whoever has time to do it. If Matt's already done photographing, then there are lots of days that he's doing dishes and doing laundry and helping kids and all of that. Or if he's photographing and I'm done listing, then the reverse is true. So we just kind of look at the day every morning and say, okay, this is what needs to get done, and divide and conquer.
Yeah.
It just needs to get done. Doesn't matter who does it.
Matt, how many pictures are you doing daily?
Oh, 1,500 probably.
Yeah.
What? How many? No, how many pictures?
Yeah.
1,500.
Wait, 1,500 pictures?
Yeah.
Holy! How many items do you guys have in your eBay store?
We flip our items really fast. We generally turn all of our inventory within 30 days. So I think right now we're at like 750, but we just flip stuff really fast.
That is an amazing sell-through rate. Can you? I know it's really basic, but can you tell me like a listing, because you guys primarily do clothing, right? So can you tell me, are you doing free returns? Like give me like the drop downs that you guys are typically doing for your guys' listings.
So right now, as of today, we have paid shipping, buyer pays shipping, free returns. What else is there?
Buyer pays.
Fixed price, best offer. We do promoted listings. We utilize promotions. I would say if eBay gives you a toy, they want you to use it. You know, and they're kind of like your grandmother when she gave you the ugly Christmas sweater. She's offended if you didn't wear it when she saw you. If they give you a toy, they want you to use it. So if there's a toy out there, we're going for it. Other than free shipping, we tried free shipping and free returns, and that did not work for us.
No.
We did not like it. We are not fans.
No.
But free returns is working.
But you know what? It's always changing.
Yeah.
It's
that
always
could change
changing.
in a
I mean, what was it? A month ago, we were doing free shipping
and paid returns.
Paid returns. And now we just switched it over to paid shipping, free returns.
Yeah.
So you're always trying to stay one step ahead of how search is treating items.
Yeah. Like I said, search changes a lot. And so I'm constantly monitoring, okay, what's getting the benefit this month? Who's winding up at the top? Because no matter what category you're in, eBay's far more saturated today than it has ever been. So getting your items seen is the biggest battle. So I'm always paying attention to, okay, what are we seeing? We're heavily watching product pages and how those are going to rank and how to then rank within product pages so that as that comes, we'll be prepared.
So we have some questions rolling in, and guys, I forgot to mention, but these two are, if there's anybody that I've interviewed, it's these two that you want to ask questions. So let me know in chat if you got some questions. Okay, so the first question is, how many photos per item that you guys typically take, Matt?
You know, it varies.
At least 10.
At least 10, because I want to give you a wide array of choices to use. You know, sometimes you get photo orbs, or I'm constantly tweaking the camera on the phone to get the best picture. So I'm taking at least 10 per item.
Yeah. And then I use probably 5 or 6.
And then some of the women's stuff, I don't know how it goes on the mannequin. So I'm putting it on like 10 different ways. Maybe it goes this way or this way, or
some of them are interesting.
So I'm giving her options, because the last thing I want her to do is say, this didn't go on the mannequin right, you got to photograph it again. So I'm giving her options. So about generally 10 per item.
So that brings up that's interesting. We got to stop right here for a quick second, Matt. So we have a male and female mannequin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you named your mannequins?
I can't say I'm on the air.
Yeah. I guess. Come on, guys. Come on. If you want him to, we gotta. Okay, you gotta type it then.
I don't even know the mannequins' names. No.
Oh, there's no names. Okay, no names. So all your clothing is on mannequins then?
Yes.
Except for jeans.
Yeah, except for jeans, we're still hanging.
Yeah.
Okay. And are you, by the way, the amount of photos that you're taking, like your feet got to be hurting. Did you get like pads on the bottom of like, you know, because I have those kitchen pad, like the big kitchen mats. I have one of them, and I'll take photos on that. It saves your feet. It's crazy. I don't know if you have anything like that, Matt, taking all those photos.
You know, my feet don't bother me too much. You know, when I first started, I worked in an office job, so I sat all day long. So when I first started, I could hardly walk the first month. But I'm so used to it now. As long as you have good, comfortable shoes on, you're fine.
I'm curious. So I came from a corporate job, and I was kind of like you, just sitting constantly. And so tell me, like, has your health changed since you started selling 5 years ago? Like, do you feel like energy?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm so much more healthy now. I'm on my feet. I'm more active. You know, I'm not sitting in the office drinking coffee, eating donuts, sitting all day long. So
and less stress.
A lot less stress. So much less stress. And less
I bet your blood pressure went down a little bit too, right? Because mine did.
Yeah, tremendously. Yeah, tremendously. I love it.
Corporate jobs are, you know, you get a lot of benefits, you can make a good amount of money, but it gets stressful. It gets stressful. It's, you know, I had a quota corporate job too, which was, you know, even more stressful. So how many? Okay, so we got. Let me see here. We have about 10 questions. I missed a few of them, guys. If you have questions, put a few question marks so I don't miss it. Do you guys promote your eBay store as well? That was one question. The name?
Oh, our eBay store is amazing * taste. But we don't push it a whole lot. We're not using social media to promote our eBay items at all. No.
Okay, and how many items listed per day? Like the total amounts? You may have said that. I completely forgot. That was one question too.
It so varies. It varies to how many items that we can find. We don't have death piles, so if we have it, we list it. So some days, you know, I can list 100 items in a day pretty easy. So some days it's 100, and then the next 2 days it may be 15 because that's just all the inventory that we have.
Well, and it also depends. You do also coaching, so if you have a coaching call or something, that cuts into the time. So it all really just depends on what we have going that day and how much we find.
Now, coaching call. So do you offer like where people can come and like, do you have like a Patreon or what's that, the coaching that you do for people?
So it's just, I do one-on-one calls with people, kind of to figure out, okay, why are my items not ranking in search? Or what can I do to increase my sales? Or how do I find wholesale opportunities? Those kinds of things. And then I do, like this month, it's so much fun. I'm doing some group calls on scaling your business. And it's once a week for 4 weeks. And we're going through efficiency, and we're going through processes, and we're going through, you know, how to increase your conversion so that you don't have to list 1 million items. We're going through all of those kinds of different things as a group. So it's so much fun for me. I always say, if we won the lottery, I would just do that all day for free and just help people build their businesses. Because I had that help when I was starting out. You know, I paid somebody and had them help me figure out the landscape, and it changed our lives. So if I can pay that forward and let somebody else have this life, then that's amazing to me.
Matt, you have one amazing wife over there. She's a smart cookie, right?
Oh, amazing. She's absolutely amazing.
So, okay. The last 20 interviews that I've done, I get 2 questions, and then with you guys, it's all questions. It's amazing. It goes to show that they watch your guys' morning shows on Instagram, I think. Okay, so how many? Let's see. How many does it take to get? Okay, let's see. I think we answered that one. Okay, so we have another question here. Did I miss it? Just joined, caught you live. What's going on, Sunny? Okay, so there's. See. Oh, here we go. I thought I missed it, but I found it. I found it, Millennial. Okay. Why do you angle the cover photo for mannequin photos? That was one question from Millennial.
Yeah. Why do we do it that way?
We get this question all the time because our gallery picture is like off kilter. Mm-hmm. And really everybody thinks like there's some like magic reason behind it. There's so not. It's now just habit. It's kind of just become a funny joke. back years and years and years ago, when I was selling by myself and I had to take all the pictures. I hate taking pictures. I've always hated taking pictures. And so I just one day by accident, I took that gallery one sideways and I was like, let's just try that. I'm just going to take them all sideways just as a way to make it more fun. And then it just stuck.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a trademark. So
yeah,
if someone's looking for something from our store and they see the side shot,
they're like,
that's ours. So
yeah. So, but yeah, it was totally just because I got bored of taking just straight eBay photos day after day.
I think it's really unique because everybody's like, everybody was hesitant to do the white backgrounds because they want something unique. But you can still do the white background in the item in the mannequin, but still do a slanted photo and it'd be somewhat unique.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How do we contact Cyndi for a coaching?
Send me a direct message on Instagram. That's the best way to do it.
Guys, I am slacking on Instagram. I've got so many questions and I try to get through them daily and they pile up. Are you guys pretty good at answering? I know you guys are way more active on Instagram than I am, but you guys get a lot of questions in your DMs.
Yeah,
she does, and she answers all of them.
Yeah, that having that little number up in the right-hand corner, like, I don't know, it gives me anxiety. So I have to go in and answer them all. I will say though, to anyone who sends me a direct message, you may very well get a response at 3:30 in the morning because I'm up way too early every day. Like I start my morning really early, and so a lot of times that's when I'm answering direct messages. Is at 3:30 in the morning.
Good. So guys, she's I was gonna say night owl, but that's not a night owl. That's just waking up way early. Wow, that's incredible. Yeah. So if you guys get some late messages, So that's a good question. Like how so when Matt, I know it kind of varies, but when are you taking your photos during the day? Does it just vary? And then it sounds like Cyndi, you're working kind of early in the morning.
I take my photos typically after we do our live show in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Either I'm taking photos or we're going out sourcing. And then I'll photograph typically everything we've bought from our previous sourcing. So if we bought 200 items, I'm photographing 200 items that day. If we bought 50 items, I'm photographing 50 items. So, and then when I'm done, you get the camera or the phone and you just start listening and repeat and rinse.
Did you always like taking photos, or is that something you just grew to enjoy?
You know what? I enjoy it. I'm artistic, so I kind of enjoy it. I'm a perfectionist. I like to make sure the photos are as perfect as they can be. I know I'm always my worst critic. I wish they were lighter, or I wish I did this better, but
I'm like, just like, be thankful I didn't take it. You can always tell the ones that I took because you're like, is there an item in there?
Slap it up on a mannequin and photograph it.
Like, I don't care. Just get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was so hilarious about the women's clothing. Like, I smiled for a while. That was hilarious. Hilarious.
Right? I mean, you get some of this stuff and you're like, what is this? How do people wear this? What's going on here? There's like 7 holes in this shirt. What goes where? Yeah.
Or like 8 straps. Or I don't know if they're straps. Little. I do women's clothing too. I feel your pain. Seriously. It was so funny because last year Ross Dress for Less, like every year, like clockwork, they discount racks and racks and racks. I'm talking. It's not the most expensive clothing out there, but it's decent stuff. I was getting like, Adidas, like workout gear for like $2-3 and a lot of it, but you get a lot of stuff. And I bought a lot of dresses and stuff and I was trying to put on the mannequins and you're just trying to figure out how, and Ashley was trying to help me and she knew it, but like, it took me a while and it's interesting to put some of those women's clothes. Now men's, I'll do men's all day long. Right?
Super easy. Just throw it.
What's your minimum profit per item when sourcing that you typically look for? That was another question. Good question, Hustle.
Good question.
So we always laugh. Anytime I say it depends, you have to take a drink because I say it depends a lot. It depends. Depends on how quickly the item flips. So if I know that item is going to flip within a week and I'll be able to get my capital back, this business is a lot about cash flow. And having the capital then to go and buy more inventory and continue to grow. So if I know that item is going to flip within a week, then my profit margin needs to be less. If I know that that item is going to sit and therefore hold up that capital for 6 months, then its profit margin has to be far greater. So it just really depends. And then it depends on how quickly can I list that item. If this is an item that we're just taking pictures of, there's no measurements, the chances of it getting returned are nil and none.
Or if it's a multiple, if you get multiples of the same thing.
So I'm going to have one listing that then is going to make me more profit. Then the individual profit margin has to be less. If it's an item that we're going to have to clean, that's going to take a while to photograph, it's going to take a while to bubble wrap and ship, then the profit margin has to be higher for us to do it. It's all about not so much a profit per item for us, but how much is our time worth? And so switching your thinking from profit per item to an hourly wage. If an item takes you 30 minutes to list, and
there better be good money in it.
There better be good money in it. Or I'm better off to just go and get a job at the local 7-Eleven. So looking at it from a time perspective versus looking at it by per item perspective.
I think that's crazy because, our time is valuable. Time is valuable. And whether you're working or you're out having fun. And not only that, but if an item takes you 30 minutes and you're not making a lot of money, you could have done another like 15 items,
Exactly.
And that same thing. All right. So man, I'm loving the questions. Okay. So we got one that you kind of went over, but real quick, who's taking the measurements, Matt? Are you taking them and then, or are you taking them after he sends them to you?
I take them while I'm listing.
Yeah, we used to photograph everything, and then I would get a notebook, and you would measure it, and we'd write them all down in the order I photographed them.
But it just took longer than if I would just measure it, type it in, and move on.
Now, so we do have a question of how you track your inventory. You talked a little bit about that already. Can you briefly go over that again for those who are just joining late? Because we've got about 80 people watching. So
we do a bin system. Like I can see your bins behind you. We do something very similar. Every item has a bin location number. That bin location number goes in the title. We don't use custom SKU. I think custom SKU is great, especially now because you can get it on your phone. I'm just old school, and custom SKU wasn't always there. And so now it just stuck. So it's in the title. And then we use that inventory location number to know whether or not it's cross-posted.
So these are, guys, I get a lot of questions about these bins. So I first started out with the heavy duty ones. These are heavy duty, but like the real heavy duty ones you get at Costco. And the problem is I was finding when I was listing items, I had to go through each individual bin because I couldn't see through them to find out where the inventory levels are at. And so I started buying these bins. They're just as big, maybe a little smaller, IKEA bins. And if you don't have an IKEA, you can order, go IKEA.com. They're like $2 more spending than you would typically spend. So they never used to be, but now they are. But they're see-through. You can also get them from Target, I was told too. But yeah, these bins are nice because if the inventory level you see up here, it's kind of like half full. I know I can I can list and then bring in a bunch of shirts and put it in there without having to go through a bunch of bins and find out which ones are not full, which ones are. So
yeah, what we would do when we ship in the morning and we're pulling each bin down to pull from, we would make a note. We'd have a whiteboard in our garage where we keep our inventory.
And it says like A3.
This bin is getting empty. You're going to list into this next bin. So
yeah,
if you don't have bins, that'll help.
I have a horrible memory, guys. Horrible memory. I would have to write it down. I had to do chicken scratches every time I list because I want to know my progress. Mm-hmm. If I only did 10 yesterday, and I wake up the next morning and I see 10 chicken scratches, it motivates you to do more. So I want to ask you guys this because you guys are extremely knowledgeable, and you guys are not only knowledgeable, but like you've been doing this for a while. So give me like a few things, as many as you want or as less as you want, of things that you see possibly new people that sell online, things that they do that possibly can improve on, or maybe like common mistakes that you see or common questions that you see that you answer on a daily basis.
I would say one of the biggest things that we see is sourcing is fun. The sourcing part of it is fun. And so they do a lot of sourcing with just a little bit of listing. And the problem is that item that you bought because you looked up comps on it and it looked great, 6 months from now, when you actually get around to listing it, it may have tanked and now it's not worth anything.
Or it's out of season.
Or it's out of season, or it's out of style, or whatever. So if you buy it, you have to list it within a timely fashion. Like, don't let yourself get so far behind. Then it becomes overwhelming. You know, then you get stuck in that feeling of, I've got so much to do, I don't even know where to begin. So yeah, I would say the biggest is that people overshop and then you overspend, and now you're cash poor because you have this huge death pile with no money coming in. But you don't really want to list that death pile because that's stuff you sourced 6 months ago and it's not really worth that much anymore.
And I think another thing that I think a lot of new sellers do is they compare their numbers to other sellers' numbers.
Yes.
And that's such a demotivating thing because you're not selling the same thing. You don't have the same business models. You don't know what that other person's profit margin is because most people are just showing what they've sold.
Their gross numbers, not their net.
Numbers. So people compare numbers all the time, and that's the absolute worst thing you can do. You're your own business. Focus on yourself. Focus on what you can do. You could have 20 kids, or you could have elderly parents you're taking care of, or you could be working a part-time job. And people don't take that into account. And I think that's the biggest mistake a lot of people make when they first start out.
Plus, you don't have a mat over there taking an amazing amount of photos, right?
Exactly. You don't have your very own mats. So
yes.
It's totally different.
Something
unless you live in my backyard and you're living my exact life, then there's no point in comparing our numbers to yours. We don't post our numbers and we don't talk about our numbers for that reason, because it doesn't benefit anybody.
Yep.
It doesn't, there's no point in it. You know, I could tell you our numbers today, but what good does that do you? It doesn't do you any good. You don't live here. You're not living our life.
Yeah, you just don't have the same business plans as we do. And there's different sourcing opportunities. People live all across the country. So my sourcing opportunities in Chicago is going to be different than someone that lives in a small town or out on the West Coast or the South. I mean, it's
totally different.
Totally different.
That's one reason why I like to ask where you guys thrift at, you know, because a lot of people, you know, like, for example, if you're Portland, Maine, you're going to be picking up a lot of, what is that brand that's out of Portland, Maine?
Nike's in Portland.
No, this is Portland, but Portland, Maine, it's
Portland, Maine.
Portland, Maine.
LL Bean.
LL Bean, yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, you are amazing
guy.
So are you only sourcing? When you go out, Matt? Are you do you source women's clothing?
Sometimes.
No, but let's say he sources the men's section and I source the women's section. But the benefit here is that because he photographs it all and I list it all. So then I know all the men's brands and he knows all the women's brands. A lot of times you'll find stuff in the wrong section.
You'll be surprised how many Robert Grahams she's found in the women's section because they're that loud, crazy pattern.
And the store just assumes it's a women's.
Yep.
So, but because I'm listing everything, even if there's a new brand that, you know, he's picked up, I've just listed it. So I know that brand. So if I see it in the women's section, I'm picking it up.
Yeah, and vice versa. I find a lot of, you know,
like Escondar is often in the men's section.
Or Flax is another
because it's big and oversized. And so they just assume it's men's.
Yeah.
You guys are good. You guys are good. So we did have a question about taxes. This is common. You know, the taxes question is definitely common. I can tell you, like, if you're looking for a tax professional, CPA, like personally, when I did it, I researched a bunch of them in my little area, and then you can pick and choose in your little area. I guess the tip to that is like, don't just, you know, go to the first one, like interview a bunch of tax guys or ladies and figure out which one you like the best. And I like to find one close so I can knock on their door. You know, that's just me. But what do you guys do for taxes? Like, how do you, and not only that, but we use GoDaddy. And the only reason I like that, although I wish that Poshmark would auto sync to them, that would be nice. I like them because it auto syncs all my PayPal, everything that goes through all my accounts, both the PayPal, eBay, Everything goes in there and it's real nice. But what do you guys do for taxes? That was the question.
So we have a CPA also. Completely agree. Find somebody local. Find somebody who understands e-commerce. It took me a lot of CPAs to find the one that we like. I had one that said, "Oh, that's cute. You sell clothes online." And I went, "Yeah, that's cute." Click. So it took a long time to find somebody who truly understood e-commerce. And I think that's going to be even more important as internet sales tax comes into play. Having somebody who understands e-commerce and is up on all of that is going to become crucial. And it becomes crucial per state, not just having somebody who's national, because they really need to know what's going on in your state. So we have a CPA that we absolutely love and who's fantastic. And then we use GoDaddy and a lot of Excel because we're on multiple platforms, and GoDaddy does a really great job of pulling eBay, but then I get a separate download from Etsy, and I've got a separate 1099K from Amazon, and then I've got and then we've got merch, and then we've got separate Etsy account. Yeah, it gets really messy. So God bless our CPA. I actually went to school for accounting, and we have a CPA because I won't touch it.
Yeah, because you did our taxes up until we started doing this full time. So
yeah, when it started to go crazy and all these different platforms and all this, no.
Yeah, and anyone who's new, who's thinking about getting into this business or is in this business, you got to pay taxes on the stuff you sell. You got to do it.
Yeah.
Get a CPA.
It's worth the money.
The tax laws are just so different throughout each state, and it's just so personalized.
Yeah.
Only way to stay on top of that was with a CPA.
Now I know why you love numbers.
Yeah, I'm a math nerd. Absolutely.
And me and Matt we're picture takers, and I do occasional listing. But
Yeah.
I'm horrible at math.
We would not have been friends in high school.
No.
At all, ever. We would not have run in the same circles.
Nope.
At all.
So tell me a little bit about how did you guys meet?
Yeah, how did we meet?
We met at work. We both had corporate jobs, and so we met at work.
Saw this hot new secretary.
Is that what it was? Now, what was the first date, Matt? Can you remember?
I do remember the first date. We went out to lunch.
We did.
And I'll leave it at that.
No, so on our first date, I told Matt all the reasons why he just shouldn't date me. Laid it all on the table. I had just come out of a really bad relationship, and I was pretty much done dating. I had no desire to date him ever. And so I told my friends, I'm just going to go scare him off from day one, and then I won't have a problem here. Then he won't ask me again. I'll just scare him off. And so I said, listen, this is what I have going on in my life. There you have it. But then he asked me out again. So now we're here.
Wow.
Persistent.
I like it. Hey, I knew we had something in common.
And this was after one of the other people in the office told her that I was a womanizer and she should stay away from me.
That's true too. There were bets on how long we would stay married.
Matt, I see one of your photos of you two, and you had some hair. You were looking good back then. I don't know. You probably did.
Pre-reselling,
but it all fall out.
Hey, that's what happens. It's the lights, guys. It's the lights beaming down constantly.
Right.
Gets you. So okay. I feel like we've come guys, give some love to our amazing guest here. Give some hearts in chat, guys. Really, really cool. Make sure you hit the like button because I want to make sure I did this actually wrong. I think it's over here. Is it over here? I don't know. It's one of the two, but yeah, right over here.
Hit it wherever it is.
Matt's doing this thing, so it's over here somewhere. Make sure you hit that like button so more people can discover them, and make sure I'm putting their Instagram guys in chat. Those of you who are joined late, they literally have a ton of resellers every morning, which I don't know how they do this because if I scheduled a time like that, it'd be constantly different. But every morning on Instagram, they do Instagram Live. And it is a really cool opportunity to meet other people, communicate, ask questions, get questions. and it's Monday through Friday and also Saturday. So, God, look at all the heart. Can you guys see chat?
No.
No.
Oh man. Okay, if you rewatch this later, you probably won't have time, but if you do, there's a lot of love for you guys in chat.
Thank
80
you.
people, and there's a lot of love. Okay. So lastly, I want to know. I like to ask this question because when I first started reselling, and I was new, because see when I'm on YouTube, you got to understand that now I've been reselling for a while, but a lot of people may not have been reselling for a while, right? So I got to put myself back in those shoes of kind of starting out. So when I first started out, I found one person, which led to another person, which led to another person, trying to gain knowledge and stuff, right? So I like to ask, who are people on Instagram and or YouTube that you enjoy following, that you enjoy, watching them grow and develop?
You know, the biggest people that we love to follow is Jay and Ryan.
Over at Scavenger Life. We've loved Jay and Ryan for a long time.
Scavengerlife.com.
They're cool. Totally different business model than ours. And that's probably why we like them. Because it goes to show no one way is perfect, because it's totally different. But on Instagram, love the Posh Hanger, love Monica, love Thrift, love Sell, Loretta, love Chrissy, Frugal Living, Hip Garden Mama. I know the Oak Brook. All of our regulars in our morning chat, we absolutely have become friends with. So many great people over there. The eBay community, speaking from years and years and years of experience, the eBay community is not like any other community out there. There's nowhere else that you see people really come together and support one another like you do in the reselling community. There's no other job where you go and your coworkers are like, here, let me give you the secret so that you can get the raise. Mm-hmm. That doesn't happen anywhere but here. Here it happens.
Yeah.
Every single day. And that's amazing to see people just become really invested in one another and help one another.
She took my next question, but I was going to ask you, how has reselling changed your guys'? How has social media and reselling changed your guys' life? So, for example, when you first started Instagram and you're kind of going through, Instagram and doing these live shows, how has being on social media changed your reselling? And this is a good question because you've been doing it for a while, way before Instagram and all this was popular. So how has it changed the way you do reselling?
I don't know that it's changed the way we do reselling.
How is it? I guess better question is, how is building relationships with people changed you as a reseller?
Yeah, so that's what it hasn't necessarily changed how we resell, because that's basically the same. But the amount of people that we have been able to meet and interact with and talk to and just really become friends with. My best friends I met online. How weird is that? But it's absolutely true. It's given us so many opportunities to meet people and have conversations like this one and really learn from other people and get to share our passion. This can be a really lonely business, and you don't always have somebody to talk to, and you don't always have somebody to share your passion with. And so it's given us this whole world of people that we can share our passion with.
And I would have to agree. It was really crazy. Cool for me to go to eBay Open in 2018 and be able to get stopped and talk to actual people that I was with for the last 2 years, actual people in chat. It was really overwhelming, the fact that there's so many people that I had communicate with online but have never met in real life and was able to meet them. And I would highly recommend next year you guys go. And I know it can be a little expensive with hotels and flights and all that, but possibly think about the cost now and save a little bit each month now, so that way it's a very small amount. Kind of we take cruises every year, and a lot of people don't realize that on the Princess Cruise Line, which is what we take, they don't run your credit. You just pick what cruise you want, you put $100 down, and then you can pay $5, $1, $20, whatever you can afford every single month up until the cruise. So it's a great way to kind of slowly pay for it over time. So kind of same concept, I guess, with eBay up in 2018. You can sock away a little bit of that money to pay for flights and hotels because it was crazy. The energy. You feel like Matt, when you went to eBay Open, you came back, you probably took 2x more pictures, right? You were just ready to rock. So
oh yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it just totally shot of adrenaline in the arm and revitalizes you. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and we're also on the cruise train, but we're Royal Caribbean, so you know.
Oh, okay. Do they Royal Caribbean allow you to do kind of the same thing if you want to?
Yeah. You don't have to pay the whole thing up front. Yeah.
Does the kids go to that one, or is it kind of just you two?
Yeah, we gotta let them come with us on that.
Yes. You find that when you're taking teenage boys anywhere, the cruise is cheaper. They probably lose money because feeding teenage boys, it's too expensive to do anything else.
It's and that's the thing. It's like for Princess, I like it because we buy one drink. We get around the rules a little bit over here at the Wade's Ventures house, but we buy one drink card and they never say anything. We just order as many drinks as we want. Because if you don't buy a drink card, I took one cruise to Mexico and that was a mistake. Not buying a drink card. That was expensive.
Gotta get the card.
Yep. Okay. So before we leave, tell me a little bit about what you guys like doing outside of reselling, because we always talk reselling, make money, but what do you guys enjoy doing outside of reselling?
What do you like to do outside of reselling, honey?
I have no hobbies. Personal confession, I have no hobbies. I really like to resell. I really like to run the numbers. I love to make a good Excel spreadsheet. I'm just all geek. It just is. But you have enough hobbies for both of us, so it's okay.
Yeah, video games mostly. Love to play video games. I'm an artist. I like to draw.
Yeah, you do all sorts of stuff.
A little bit of everything.
What kind of video games? Because you're talking to an ex-gamer. I still game a little bit, but
I'm playing right now a World War II online massive multiplayer. World War II Online basically is the name of the game. I play Fallout. Any of the Bethesda games are usually pretty good.
So I could see Cyndi being like, I can just picture her, and then you.
That's pretty much how.
I got the headset going, and I'm talking to my squad mates, and I'll get the tap on the shoulder. Keep it down. I'm on a business call, and I'm yelling EI and watch out. They're on your 6 and
guys.
I'm talking to the state representative. You have to be quiet.
And he's over there taking down a tank. I used to love Ghost Recon back in the day. That was my game on the Xbox. All right, so guys, thank you so much for joining tonight. Please do one last. Now down below, guys, if you're watching this after the fact, down below you'll notice that they have an Instagram link, and they also have a YouTube link. I did get one question from somebody here recently. Are you guys planning on doing any more YouTube videos and updating that a little bit?
We kind of stink at YouTube. You got to stink at something. We kind of stink at YouTube. We're really good at Instagram Live. That's really easy. You just press the little go live button now and it just goes. So we play with the idea every once in a while, but not anytime in the near future.
The problem with YouTube, with what we do, a lot of the material that we talk about is very dated. So we're talking about a glitch that's happened on Friday. So in 2 days, 3 weeks, through 6 months, it's not relevant anymore. So we like the Instagram because it's always current.
Or search is doing this today. If you do this, then this search is behaving this way. But if someone were to go, I would feel badly if somebody watched that video 6 months later and utilized that information and it tanked their sales. I would feel really bad about that. So
we talk about doing a couple of YouTube things. You're on 6-bit listing software, so we'll probably do a tutorial on that. That's something that would stay pertinent for a while, but we'll do something eventually.
Guys, just subscribe to both, okay? something, if it happens, it happens on YouTube, but their Instagram is incredible. I think that one reason why, I know now why you have success on Instagram, I think, is the fact that you're engaging your audience extremely well. The fact that you message to every DM and you have daily shows, like, that's why you guys are amazing on Instagram. The engagements, I think, is you can't have people following your journey and then not respond to them. So I think that's why you guys are doing extremely well, guys. Go follow him on Instagram, and almost did an actual mic drop on that one, actually. All right, so we always lead off the show with words of wisdom. I did get a comment saying that you guys are very inspirational, and every single show we always leave off with my guest this time. So Matt, you can do yours if you want, of words of wisdom. It could be reselling related, non-reselling related, life related, whatever you want. Just really positive words of wisdom. Do you guys have anything you want to give the crowd?
Oh,
Always listen to your wife.
there you go. I think that's the best words of wisdom ever. Like, yes, I'm right all the time.
That's my words of wisdom. Always listen to your wife. Wife is always right. Just nod your head and go on.
I think that's good. I think that's
You
good.
see, you know.
Hey, it's so funny because I always go back to the fact that, like, when you guys first met, hey, da 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 da, and Matt's, you know what I mean? Hey, you took that advice to heart back then, and look at you guys got an amazing family. You guys are together doing a business. It's crazy what one little. Imagine if you didn't pursue this amazing lady next to you. That one.
I couldn't imagine life without her.
See? Crazy.
It's intent. Now, I do want to shout out. Thank you so much for the $2 super chat. I appreciate all the support, guys. Haven, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. You didn't have to, but I really appreciate it. Guys, thank you so much for joining tonight. Thank you so much. They're amazing. Hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to them on Instagram. I will be on their live show Saturday. And Monday through Friday, we have live shows for them on Instagram. So go join their Instagram and be a part of the community on that aspect. But thank you so much for joining, guys. And Matt, Cyndi, thank you so much for joining. We had so many people enjoy this show, and I really appreciate the fact that you came on here on such short notice. So I appreciate you guys.
Oh, thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Until next time, until next week, hopefully you guys have a good weekend and you're listening as much as Matt, if not more. Take it. All right, guys. Have a good night. See ya.
Bye.